So we're ready?
We're recording and we're good.
All right. Call the meeting to order. The only thing on the agenda is Water Commission, right?
Yes. So discussion on non-approved construction materials for emergency service line repair between South Street. So we have the details, which I'll share here. So Jill had asked, they had been working on South Street in terms of our side repair, which they've done. And now the owner of 21 South Street, which is the building across the road, wants to repair. And Jill is looking for our repair.
They have to.
They have to repair, Jill. So she recommended. There you go, Jill. You can unmute yourself and start video. So she's recommending that the repair happen as soon as possible because there's literally a pipe running across the street now, supporting that water line. And because Jill knew that we were looking at possibly updating the Appendix C for construction materials, she wanted to bring this to our attention to see if we were able to approve this construction material use tonight so they can do the fix on Friday. So we've got in our current zoning, what we have for the appendix for construction is type K copper, ductile iron for water lines, and use of plastic by the Water Commission is case by case with tracer wire. So what we'd like to do, and what I'll do is I'll stop sharing this and the other documents. So I updated our water construction appendix C to the following, which is this. So at the moment, we've got A is our main one, 3/4 inch type K copper with brass coupling, compression couplings, and then our yellow highlighted is the recommended. And we were talking about this anyway. This is what she suggested. We've done a couple back and forth with it. So
this is a new
this
new
will be
policy.
Correct. This is an appendix, so it's not in the ordinance, but it's essentially our construction specification. So and this is all being driven by the cost of copper for any kind of water line repair. It's a considerable higher cost, and 10 times at the moment, and could go higher, could go lower, I guess. But we're trying to update this for our water line policy to be able to include plastic in a very specified way to support use and or support construction and water line replacement. So this is what we're going to
make it feasible. Make it feasible for.
Yes, since this is another option, and as long as people do it to our specifications, the main thing is sort of what the pipe is: 3/4 inch, 250 psi, the CTS. Stainless steel inserts and brass coupling compression couplings, and then the tracer wire is a specific size and gauge and high PVC coated along the pipe. And then you've got blue single termination cast iron lead and access point. And of course, this is just a draft of this, so we can make amendments to it if we wish this evening, or we can discuss it more Monday. I don't know, Jill. Can you unmute, Jill? I think you can. You should be covered.
I can, yes.
So you're thinking for this particular one on South Street, is what we're talking about tonight.
Yes.
This is what you would prefer to see there, or recommend rather?
I would require it there. I'm not willing to allow them to put in CTS piping unless they do the tracer wire and the access box and the compression couplings. Otherwise, they can do copper.
Okay. And what do they need? What are they looking to run?
They're going to end up taking a right out of the curb box, going around the septic tank and coming in through where there's a basement, because the current water service is in a crawl space straight in from where the existing curb is.
Okay.
There's a septic line right there, and it's all dirt with a dirt up to about 2 feet. And then the last 2 feet is stone. So you can't get in the basement and dig to go down to the water line to replace it, and it would be possibly very bad to try to, even if you bored into there, you'd still have to dig down, and you can't because it's a 2-foot crawl space. Like, you can't physically dig in there to replace it where it is. They need to come in on the opposite side of the house. They need to avoid the septic system, and so they end up needing like a 70-foot run.
Okay. Okay. All right. Select any select board comments in terms of
So
what's.
somebody the CTS polyethylene, is that a hard plastic? Is that the rubber
It's
plastic?
definitely not rubber. No, it's basically HDPE, but it is NSF approved. It's thicker wall, and it has stainless inserts that go in so that it's copper tube size, so that the same high strength compression fittings that are brass that we use on copper fit that pipe. So it's appropriately held together with a high strength fitting.
I'll bring a piece on Monday for
Yeah.
when we do that.
Yeah.
The sleeve and the coupling. So
That'd be great.
everybody knows what it looks like.
Yeah.
But I'd entertain a motion to allow the homeowner on South Street to use this material per our water.
Our proposed water.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
per our
Question mark,
Recommendation.
water.
you all
Um,
perform,
Yeah.
are you all prepared for the majority of your water lines going to that type of material? Because once you allow it, everybody's gonna wanna do it.
That's ours.
Oh, sorry.
As
think
long
we
as
need to
as
be-
long as it's done right,
Yeah.
it's a cost thing, Si. It's not, it's, you know, you're talking 100 foot.
That's exactly what I'm saying, because once you offer that, you're going to watch the copper go away, because nobody's gonna wanna pay that extra money for copper when they can go that route. And then it's gonna be imperative that one of us is there to witness and make sure that it's done correctly, because corners will be cut.
Okay. Do you have concerns about the use of this material, or it's just making sure that the water operator is there to make sure it's done properly? Like, do you have any concerns with the material itself, the CTS?
I do, because it's a petroleum-based product that is not, I don't think that should be the standard. I just know once it's offered, people are gonna look at their wallet and they're gonna be like, hey, well, let's do this. And I am not sure, it's still a new product. Copper's been around for a long, long time. Plastic has not. And
Okay.
I think we gotta be careful what we introduce into people's bloodstreams. And there's a thing about PFAS everywhere. They say PFAS is not in this stuff, but what if 10 years down the road, a study happens and says, oh, we were wrong. So just all things to think about. It's not just cost alone, but it's all things to think about. And public safety is number one in my eyes.
Yeah.
But
We've had that conversation here a number of times, Si, and there isn't a house today that's built that uses copper anymore. They all use PEX, which is the same thing, only thinner walled for houses. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I totally understand what you're saying, but I think that given the cost difference, that we really don't have a choice if we want people to replace their lines.
hey, I mean, you guys are the decision makers, and I'll stand behind the decisions you guys make. I just think it needs to be thought of in a real type situation. We don't actually know what is in this stuff that these people are selling us. And we know that copper is actually a mineral out of the ground that has disinfection qualities and other things as well. It lasts longer. You can't, in 100 years, is that plastic line going to be there? Is it still going to have the same tensile strength? Is it still going to be what it was sold to us as at this point? That's all.
No, it's good. It's worth noting that. We can have a further discussion on that with Monday. For this particular one, I think, given the emergency nature, I think we would approve this, but I think that's for further discussion on Monday as well.
Yeah, and I think I just want to reiterate that this approval requires the tracer wire and the access box and to be bedded in sand. Like it still needs to meet everything. It needs to be findable, especially since this one's not doing a straight line. It's going to be even trickier to locate it in the future.
And by the way, when we dug up that service line, we found a 2-inch CTS line that terminates right in front of that building that nobody knew was there.
Yep. So that has a curb on it under the road. Should there be some kind of
Large development
Yeah.
or anything like that in the future.
Yep.
But when we started our escapade on South Street, we dug up near the valve box and we found a tap and tee or a tapping sleeve right there by that valve with a 2-inch line going somewhere. And then when we did this recent repair, we found that 2-inch line, and there's no record of it, basically, is what I'm getting at.
Yep, it's under the northbound lane. We did create a tie record for it, and it's appropriately capped so that it could technically be used at a later date if it was needed. It's already in that segment of line that crosses the bridge and goes to the valve after the bridge in this, kind of messed up area at the moment. That segment is a new ductile iron line.
Okay.
So it's one part that will not be replaced as part of the project because it's not 1905.
Okay. All right.
So do we have a motion?
From
I'll
you.
No, he said I'll entertain a motion.
Oh.
So I'll make the motion.
Oh, okay. You'll make the motion.
Joel, you have any questions?
Yeah.
For a second, then I'll ask the questions.
Sure.
Well, you want a second? Then we'll have discussions?
No,
His second is just for discussion. You can still vote against it, Joel.
question is, number one is, Jill's mentioned it's going around a septic tank. Are we complying, or is the owner complying, and we let the owner not comply to the state septic laws that domestic water supply has?
It's 10 feet around that septic tank.
I don't know where the edges of the septic tank are, but he's going along the edge of the lawn, very close to the road, all the way over to the driveway, and then turning to the right side of the house. The water line is currently under the sewer line coming out of the house. It has no separation distance at all where it currently is. It would have a greater separation distance in this other location, and there's nowhere else to go from the water line to the house.
And I have to agree with Cy on, once we open the door, just kick it down and burn the door off because it's going to open up the wallets and say it's cheaper. I would like to see us maybe Monday night, approve this one tonight, but Monday night we take it case by case for plastic. If somebody, if it's over 100 feet and you can only get copper in 100 or 120, if it's over that, and you're going to have a copper line that's got a connection in it, is the connection worse off than a plastic line that's not going to have a connection with the stainless steel fittings? I think that's a discussion for an engineer to have. But I understand this situation here. Been down there, saw the site where they took out an old piece of copper that looked like a whole bunch of holes in it because it wasn't K copper. Somebody screwed it many years ago. So but I'm not just say, okay, from now on, every curb stop can be anything you want, or CTS plastic or copper.
Okay. Yeah, we can have a discussion on Monday, further discussion on that, Joel.
I don't want to, but I want to say that if we approve this tonight, then the state comes back in a few years and says, he put that right next to the sewer tank and you guys gave him permission to do it and he didn't comply. Who's at fault? He didn't comply to the sewer rules. Should he have to show us from an engineer? Yeah, it meets just an engineer in our time.
Separation distance from a water line to a septic tank is 10 feet,
It is
no
10
matter
feet.
what. So
Okay.
that's something that has to be taken into consideration, no matter what it is that anybody does. The state separation is 10 feet from a septic tank. So if that means he can't go that direction, he's gonna have to find a new route.
Okay.
All right, we'll have to have the septic tank. We just can see where the cover is. I don't know where the edges of it are.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Jill. Joel's still talking. Sorry, Joel.
Hard to hear. He's on the phone, Jill. Sorry.
Okay.
I think that then we ought to have a document from the homeowner that says, this line, the new line proposed CTS, if approved by you, is more than 10 feet from any septic system or tank or line.
Do you,
So it doesn't fall back on us.
Jill?
It wouldn't fall back on us only because it's their service line. We only approve the service line. We
Yeah.
don't approve where it's going.
Okay, then we
So-
said at least if we approve this service line, it's the owner's responsibility to make sure it's 10 feet away from any sewer.
The owner's responsibility to make sure that they meet the
Comply with the
rules.
rules,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yep.
It's never our responsibility to make sure they comply with the rules.
Right.
That's true.
Yep, that's true. On their property, they just have to comply with our rules for materials and for constructability and bedding, et cetera, and within the water supply rule for the, AWWA, NSF, et cetera, materials. The rest of it is on them. It's kind of like over on Fitch and Ezra's Way, where the line size didn't meet up with the permit. As the water operator, I noted that they're different, but it's my job to make sure that it's a water tight connection and that it's approved materials, not that it matches their water wastewater permit, because that's outside of my bandwidth.
Okay. And you said, Jill, they have someone lined up for Friday. Is that still true?
They do. They have a contractor lined up for Friday. He put his big safe in this morning.
Okay, and you will be on site for that? Parts of that?
I will have to be on site for parts of that because I'll need to witness what he's installing, how he's installing it, how he's connecting to the curb, and be shutting the curb on and off, etc.
Okay, terrific. Thank you.
Yep.
Sand is properly, so much sand, right? Jill?
It's 12 below and 4 above.
Right. You'll
Which
be
I
on-
think it's in
Yes,
that same specification. It just isn't in the piece that's cut out on the screen right now.
Doesn't change whether it's plastic.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Any other questions, Joel?
No,
Okay.
All right, anybody else got any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of allowing the people on South Street to use our water operators recommendations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. That, I believe that's all
Yeah.
we have.
We have a member of the public. Do you have any particular comments about
Yeah.
this? You do?
About this water one?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Did you have something else that you wanted?
I did. but I
We
think
didn't
you
do-
guys are done
We didn't do
tonight.
public forum at the top, but we could do it after this. Usually public
Yeah,
forum's always
that's-
included, so
yeah.
we can do that.
All right,
Yeah,
so-
so that's ending for that. Thank you, Joel. And then we could do.
do you wanna hang on, Joel, or are you ready to take off? Huh?
oh, hang on.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll do public comment?
Yep. Sorry about that, Fred.
It's okay. Hey, my name's Fred Schroeder. I live on Notch Road in Bristol. Two things I want to talk about. They're both unrelated to each other. I want to ask, are we still planning on doing a police, townwide police vote at town meeting next year?
That's
The
what we-
plan.
yes,
Yeah.
we were told to, so.
Okay, I would like to make it a vote of the non-village people, not the village people. Because it's affecting the village, it's affecting people outside the village. We're the ones who are gonna have to have townwide police, that's what I think.
Well, it's gonna be all because the village people, it may increase their costs.
Well, I believe it's gonna be very much more expensive to go townwide because they're gonna need hiring more officers, they're gonna have to have pickup trucks to get up and down the roads. It's just gonna be a lot more expensive to do other than what we're doing now. I could say this, hey, I think the Notch Road, Upper Notch should be paved. And I think the people in the village should pay for it. Let's see what they think about that. How about let's have townwide water all the way to my house? I have a well. Let's see what the village people think about that. Okay, so if we're gonna have townwide police, I think it's the non-village people that should be paying, should be voting on this, not the village people, because I know what the village people want. They want townwide police, so they think it's gonna lower the taxes. That's unknown. We know it's gonna be more expensive to have townwide police. But anyway, so second thing I wanna talk about is what you guys talked about on the Notch Road across from my house, Kevin Irish last week. I wish I could have come. I wish Kevin was here. But I don't approve of the driveway cut.
We did not, just so for your information, we did not approve the driveway cut, given the fact that he already has access to that area.
Yes, and honestly, if he builds a garage, it won't matter anyway. He'll still drive right over the top of what he's put in there. He's brought in many loads of sand and smoothed out that area. I've watched it all. My wife watches it every day. She works from home. I come home, there's new loads of sand there. I don't know where he's getting sand from, but
He
doesn't.
got some ditch material from the town.
Yeah.
That's where some of it came
So
from.
he's flattening out his lawn or his area there. Yeah, it's his thing. He can do whatever he wants. But the driveway cuts, if this is another driveway cut, this would be 5 driveway cuts on that strip of land. It's, a couple hundred yards long. He already has access on the north end. He's got a camper there that people come and go and stay in. So 5 driveway cuts. I have 1. I think it's appropriate. So 5 driveway cuts. Does he need another one? Maybe you should, if you want the driveway cut, you should X out a couple of the ones he had now.
That was part of our conversation
okay.
as well.
So more than likely that will come back on this Monday's agenda. I've been working with the zoning administrator, talking about this, and part of the reason to perhaps allow it is that it's bringing his property into better compliance than it already is, which sounds odd given the amount of driveways that are there, but some of those driveways are the property is a strange property because of the nature of the size of it, how close it is to the river, things like that. So that's part of the reason that we might look at approving it, but again, it's part of the discussion on Monday, is because of improving compliance, and AZ is gonna make recommendations.
Doesn't matter. He'll drive right where he wants to. He drives all over the place in that property. He virtually can drive and access his property, which he does with a vehicle, all over the upper part of that the land.
Okay.
Doesn't, because he's on the lower part, he doesn't, because he's got a apartment building there.
Yeah.
And so that brings other things too. Kevin's got a history of non-compliance. We all know that. And he does whatever he wants. I think zone where we're live, it's 5 acres, it's own AG. I call it anything goes. Really.
No,
Because
I actually just heard that
he
recently.
does whatever he wants.
Yeah,
And gets away with it. So he has his septic system underneath his driveway. It's literally under his driveway. We watched him install it. That's not legal. Okay. He also has people living in a downstairs garage under the building that he put up a few years ago. He put it up maybe 7 or 8 years ago. That's not permitted. He doesn't have, it's a garage. He's people renting that out. Okay, so my fear is that he's gonna build a garage. And if he can legally put it where he is, that's another topic. He's gonna rent that out too. Okay, it's becoming like rental city there. This is income for him. Because he doesn't, this is what he does. He stays home and he rents out his rooms or whatever. People come and go. But the people living below that new building on the downstream end of it, that's a garage. There's people living in there. They've been living there ever since day one. Septic's not approved for that. Okay, are we looking at another building with an apartment above it? We don't know, but Kevin will do whatever he wants. He'll build whatever he wants. Okay, so I think there should be some like, what are you doing? What are you planning on doing? I mean, if you want to put a garage, another thing too, the building he put up is too close to Notchburg. It's too close for state regulations, and we're talking about all these people getting flooded out in all these towns around Vermont. Let's build a house right next to the river. It doesn't make any sense. And this garage is gonna be too close to the river. I wanna see the permits for that. And if he wants to build it farther away, how close can he be to the road? I mean, is it anything goes? if we're gonna allow a driveway, well, we're just facilitating him to do whatever he wants again. Do we know he's gonna put an apartment there? No. We don't, but I guarantee it's very possible that. Once the driveway's there, that's it. Put the
Okay.
building up and, oh, well, it's just a garage. Well, it's an upstairs. Well, we got people living up there now. I live right next to the guy. I don't think it's right. Gets away with everything. I think you need to put your feet down and say no. Let's have some reason, just be reasonable about things here. So I'm willing to come back next week. I'm willing to look Kevin in the eye and tell him the same thing, because I live right next to him. Not a bad guy, but he stretched the rules. He's
He
not.
he
following
bends
the
them
rules.
to his liking, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
not a bad guy, but.
And that's part of the reason the driveway permit didn't get approved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And he's been speaking to AZ, and you're more than welcome. The permitting process is it's all public, so you
Yeah,
can
sure.
come and talk to AZ. They're usually out the front here. You can look through permits that have been, and they're also on approved or are in progress, and they're also online. But you can, AZ is more than happy to talk to you if you have any questions regarding your property or anyone else's
Sure.
property. It's all public
I
information.
noticed he's got a bunch of stakes in the ground, you know, maybe that's where he plans on putting his garage.
Yeah, I spoke to him this week. He doesn't, and I asked him about that to try to get more information for
Yeah.
possible discussion on Monday, and it seems like at the moment, there isn't a plan for a garage, there's no timeline. So, and usually we would grant access permits before buildings go up to be able to facilitate
I
that,
mean,
but.
honestly, he could put his garage there, wouldn't matter, you drive right through there, just like.
Right, and It seems like he's already, like you said, he's already doing that, and that's what I heard as well.
For 20 years, I've been there for 20 years, he's been doing whatever he wants.
Okay.
So I'd say be very cautious about, you know, if he wants a driveway, that's great. But it's just gonna facilitate other things that are against the law.
Sounds to me like he doesn't need one anyway, he's just gonna do it.
He will, trust me. He will.
So,
Okay,
Yeah, it's been an ongoing battle.
Yeah. Now, I hate to see it, cause people come here and try to get permits and they get turned down, or they have to revise things. And my neighbor just does whatever he wants and gets away with it, so.
okay,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for your.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I gotta go pick blueberries, my wife's waiting for me.
Dude, You're
Take it
stalling,
old school.
you're stalling.
I'll be here next week.
Yeah, thank you, Fred.
Okay, alright, super. What, Joel?
Cell number, have her call me. Not
Okay.
about the subject you brought up, I wanna buy some trees from her.
Do you hear that?
Joel wants to buy some trees from me.
Okay,
Yes, trees, I got some trees.
Not about this subject.
Yeah,
I
all
like
kinds
the
of
tree
sumac,
program.
right? Picking right up.
Okay, great. Thank you, Fred. Duly noted.
I'll
We
keep
appreciate that.
watching.
Yeah, and I can send you, if it does go back on the agenda, I'll send it to you, so you're aware.
And know
Okay.
that you can come see me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Contact me and animal system.
thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Have a
thanks,
good
Fred.
night.
Yeah. Some public forum, and I guess you can call a motion to adjourn, because I think we're done. No, you asked. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We don't have
You
enough
can, you
people.
can
to-
second.
I can second, but we still only have 2 votes.
That's true. Michelle, we can't leave.
Michelle,
the meeting. We're trapped. Jimmy's just watching us talk nonsense now, because we're trapped and we can't leave.
I will say that I don't feel that as water commissioners, I don't feel that we had to warn a meeting to do a repair.
Okay.
And I think that's. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
something
was-
we need to look
Yeah,
into.
I wasn't sure, and so we've always done water commission stuff.
At a select board meeting
Yes.
as opposed to having a
Yes.
separate meeting, and I could see if we were changing the ordinance or if we were, or if we were doing budget stuff,
Still
but.
Joel on the phone, so.
Okay.
But if it's just something for,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, I wasn't sure if
repair.
it needed to be publicly
I don't-
warned and all that, but we can figure that out.
I mean, better
Great.
safe than sorry, but going forward, I think we need to figure it out, because we shouldn't have to have these headaches in order to deal with an emergency situation.
I mean, we have to make a decision, but then if we're together, but if the water commission is different rules than a select board, so. Okay, so we made a motion to adjourn, we needed a second,
Second,
all right, now we needed to vote on that.
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye,
Opposed? Motion
great,
carried.
all right, thank you, everyone,
Bye, Joel.
thanks, Jimmy. And that.